And
Sorry.
so I actually have a friend that lives in Kennett, Missouri, Sylvia Webster. Does that ring a bell?
Sylvia Webster. No, not with me.
No.
And her son, Andrew Webster, is a football coach at the high school.
Oh,
Okay. We're from a
So,
little town outside of here. Really, we live in Kennett right now, but we've always been associated with this little rural Delta C7 it's called.
well, I'm very happy you heard about us, and in about 3 more minutes, it will be 6:30. Trying to find out if we have other people join us or not. And actually, I see Ted and Tom have joined, and those gentlemen, like you, Steve, live outside of St. Louis, and they also benefit from the Zoom meeting. So it's kind of interesting how we have reached out to the rural areas, because you don't, for whatever reason, you don't have a chapter. So anyway, I don't want to get started quite right now, but Steve, tell us a little bit about, Deborah joined us, and Deborah lives in the north part of St. Louis, I believe. Steve, tell us a little bit about your hearing loss.
Well, like I said, I was raised on the farm and around loud noises all my life. And I did a lot of hunting and shooting and riding loud motorcycles and just really abused my ears. And as in 21, I've been wearing hearing aids probably for 25 years. I'm 80-year-old right now. And in 21, I had on my left side, I had a cochlear implant in Little Rock, Arkansas. And then, of course, a hearing aid on my right ear. But my hear they're AB product, and my hearing is just terrible. Background noise is awful. Just really gives me time. I've switched audiologists 3 times, three different ones. One in Little Rock, one in Memphis, and I'm going to Vanderbilt over in Nashville right now, trying to improve. But my hearing is just awful, I think.
Well, you're going to Vanderbilt. That's a good choice. That'll be a good choice.
Yeah, it came highly recommended.
Yeah, it'll be because I think once you have the proper settings, because there are ways to like diminish the background noise and everything, so that you can hear the voice and the speech, which is what you want to hear first and foremost, and then everything else is icing on the cake if you can hear those, in this order. So I hope because I have advanced bionics also, and I've been very pleased. And we got some other people just jumping in here, so.
Several years ago, I went to St. Louis. I'm trying, my memory's terrible, but it was probably 8 or 10 years ago. I went up there and had one set of hearing aids made there. I'm trying to think what institution it was. It was, I'll look at my phone. I think I can figure out who it was. I was pleased with them, but like I say, I've been looking.
Well, that's I'm glad that you got the service that you needed, because you were willing to go to Nashville, which is great. How far is Nashville from Kennett? About an 8-hour drive?
No, it's not. It's not about 200 miles.
Oh,
It's
that's all.
probably not any further than St. Louis.
Okay. Okay. I have a friend that lives in Lebanon, Tennessee, which is outside of Nashville. So, okay, we can get started. I welcome everybody. This seems to attract a lot of new people from outside of our St. Louis chapter. As I was mentioned earlier, our chapter's been, oh, we're close to 40 years I've been around. And due to the pandemic, we explored having meetings via Zoom, and now today we do hybrid. Now, today we didn't do hybrid because a lot of our membership do not drive at night. So we ask if we could just have a Zoom meeting, and also the availability of our speaker. It was on Thursday even. We typically meet on Saturday at 1 o'clock, the second Saturday of each month. In the summertime, we don't really have meeting per se. We just have summer socialization. Like in June, we have a picnic, and July, we hope to go see a caption movie at the Science Center. And I believe we talked about just going out to lunch in August, exchanging information about. Kathy is going to the national convention, which is going to be in Phoenix this year. And so she had the opportunity to talk about what she learned. And some people have asked me to talk about my experience as a person with a hearing loss when I visit Kenya. I can tell you more about Kenya than I didn't have that much adaptation, but I will tell you what I did. So I have, for some of you may know that am a retired state executive director of the Governor's Council on Disability in Missouri, and been retired for 9 years. So I used to cross paths with Stacy because they were one of our partners at Missouri Assistive Technology Council. So I approached Stacy about giving us an update on information that pertains to people with hearing loss. So Stacy, before I get started, a lot of these names are new to me, so I'm just gonna call out your name and then very briefly just tell me where you're from. And I think Steve has already started, but Steve, go ahead and repeat who you are, where you live, and do you wear a hearing aid or cochlear implant? Okay, I'll start with you, Steve.
Okay. I'm Steve Atwell. I'm from Kennett, Missouri. I'm just turned 80 last month. I was raised in agriculture around a lot of loud noises. Of course, I hunted and motorcycle and anything around, even music. I played the drums in band, and with no protection. But it's caught up with me. About 25 years ago, I started wearing hearing aids, and in the fall of 21, I went to Little Rock, Arkansas, and had a cochlear implant, AB, in my left ear. And then about 6 months later, I got a hearing aid that syncs with it. It's AB also. Just a regular hearing aid. And I'm really struggling with it. My main problem, I don't think I hear very well, number one. but background noise has really, really caused me a lot of problems. But I'll make it somehow or another, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to associate with people, and because I'm becoming an introvert, really, because normally I used to sit around a coffee table like 6 o'clock in the morning with a lot of my friends, and I can't understand them now. So I'm withdrawing from a lot of things that I shouldn't be. It's hard to even understand anything in church, but anyhow, we'll all survive, and I'm just trying to get better.
Before anybody else gets on, Linda, I want to make sure everyone here is seeing the closed caption. If you're not, raise your hand. Okay, good. Because
I don't have closed caption.
Okay, you need to activate it on your laptop, tablet, whatever you're on. There's a way, you find the button, it'll say see closed caption. It might be a series of dots that you have to click on. Usually under more, you'll find captions, and you click on it and it should show up. Because we have a person who's actually doing the typing, so the captions will be more accurate than the automated ones are.
Okay, please also, if you have a tablet, you have to go to more where there's 3 little dots. Click on that, and you will see the word closed caption, and you turn it on. So it's a little bit, it's not, see, it doesn't show up, the icon doesn't show up on your screen unless you click on more, M-O-R-E. So
also, under more, you'll find the raise hand feature. And that's, if you're having any problems, you could do that, or you could, I have the chat box open, so you could put something to me privately in chat, or you can make it a general chat. So whatever, if you have a specific question or problem, you could text me privately. I'm Kathy Haneke. I'm a co-host. So this is all basic housekeeping. We just want to make sure everybody is on board. We are recording the meeting, and so we can send you the recording in a couple of days. What we do, we send you the link. We put it out on our chapter's YouTube. So yeah, hi, Mary Jared. By the way, were you able to get your captions working, Mary?
yes, she says yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, and Mary, since we briefly introduce yourself and where you're from and whether you wear a cochlear implant or hearing aid, or both.
Hi, I'm Mary Jarrett. I'm a leader in the Jacksonville, Florida HLAA chapter. I wear 2 hearing aids.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Diane Kusey, is that pronounced?
Yes, I am in Ashland, Wisconsin, which is far up north on Lake Superior, and a member of the Madison HLAA group, although that's pretty far away. So I don't attend those meetings in person. And I wear 2 hearing aids, and I've worn them for about 25 years now.
Thank you, Diane. Moving on, I know that Dilbert said he didn't have a microphone. Dilbert, I believe you wear a cochlear implant. He's a member of the St. Louis group. Dilbert, is there anything you want to add in the chat room? While we're waiting, I move on. Lloyd Wimmer, briefly introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Laura Wimmer in St. Louis, Missouri. I've been with HLA for several years. I wear a hearing aid in one ear and an osseous bone conduction in the other.
Thank you, Laura. Um, Pam, Pia, is that how you introduce yourself?
Hey.
I'm Pam Pay, and
Okay.
I've I'm in the St. Louis chapter. I have a friend here, Barber. We both wear bilateral hearing aids, and we're both in Chesterfield, Missouri.
Thank you. Thank you. And I welcome your friend in joining us. I thought she might be your sister because she looks a lot like you. Okay. Ted Huber.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I am Ted Huber from Springfield, Illinois, and I've had a severe hearing loss since birth, and I wear 2 hearing aids. I use technology a lot, especially open caption movies that we have through AMC here in Springfield.
That's wonderful. And by the way, here in St. Louis, Marcus Theater show caption movies, as well as they have caption view for the movies that don't already show the caption. Tom Gover, would you introduce yourself?
I'm up in Mattoon, Illinois, about 100 miles from St. Louis. I've been a member for a couple of years. I appreciate what you all do. I've learned a lot. I have 2 hearing aids. I'm basically not able to hear. I'm trying to cope, and that's where we are. I'm grateful for what I'm able to do. Thanks, and back to you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, I think and we do have a real-time caption person who's here for the speaker. So I'm gonna, Kathy, I didn't mean to neglect you, but Kathy, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Kathy Haneke, and Gene's next to me in the other window. My husband, Gene. He's the hearing husband, just like we hear so much about. Now I'm drawing a name blank. You know, who always talks about our hearing
Gail.
husband. Gail, yeah. Anyhow, yeah, I have cochlear implants. I'm bilateral, advanced bionics, and I've been hard of hearing, extremely hard of hearing since birth. So it's all working out really well for me now. I'm very grateful. So but I had to go back many times to the audiologist. So I just say that. So this way, don't give up. Just keep persisting, and hopefully things will get better for you with the hearing. And there's lots of technology, which hopefully we'll hear more about tonight from Stacy. So.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. All right, Stacy, you're on the floor right now.
I'm gonna go ahead and pin you, Stacy, okay? That way.
Sounds good.
And we'll all mute ourselves, so this way.
We lost your voice, Kathy.
Lost your voice, Kathy.
Sorry, just mute yourself. I just muted myself too early. Sorry. Just let me know when you want me to change the slide.
Sounds good. So hello, everyone. Kathy, can you go ahead and put up the slides, please? Share screen. Perfect. All right. So my name is Stacy Brady. I am with Missouri Assistive Technology. For those who may not be aware, every state in the United States, as well as the territories, have an assistive technology program. We do not always offer the same equipment. We do try as best we can to have a variety of devices. So some of the items I will talk about today we have. Some of them, one of them at the very end is emerging technology. And then sometimes there are things that we just can't, we can tell you about, but we don't have, either because they're exceptionally expensive or they're very personal. Like we can't loan you a hearing aid or cochlear implant, but I can loan you a listening device. So Kathy, if you'd like to move to the next slide, I'm going to talk about me a little bit. So, as I mentioned, my name is Stacy Brady. I've been with Missouri Assistive Technology for 14 years now. Before that, I was a vocational rehabilitation counselor with the state of Missouri. And I ran a caseload for 3.5 years in general disabilities, as well as over 8 years specifically in deaf and hard of hearing. And before that, I was a counselor in the state of Texas. I went to the University of Arkansas, get my master's degree, and I specialized in rehabilitation counseling with an emphasis on deafness. So when we're talking about Little Rock earlier, I know a little bit about that. The program I was in was right across from UAMS Hospital, and I did some of my studying over there in order to be prepared for my future. Before I went to Little Rock, I went to Missouri State in Springfield, but I am old school, so it was Southwest Missouri State University, somewhere between when it was Teachers College and MSU. So a little bit about me. Additionally, is my husband and I, we have 2 children, and my children are learning to deal with mom and dad both starting to lose hearing loss. He has had military service, so being around artillery has something to do with that. Mine, we don't know. It just is happening over time. So the great thing is I'm educating my children early how to work with people who have hearing loss. So you'll catch me going, hey, I need you to look at me, and make sure explaining they need to voice, they need to look at people, and all the proper things that need to happen to communicate effectively. Next slide, please. Okay. Additionally to what I do at Missouri Assistive Technology, I also happen to be the policy chairperson for the Telecommunications Equipment Distribution Program Association. Now that seems like a lot of words to something that may not be well known. We are the people in our states who oversee the adaptive telephone programs. Each state is run differently, and it's based on legislative rules for each individual state. So while Missouri assists individuals not only who are deaf or hard of hearing, we also serve blind, low vision, people with upper body limitations, mobility issues, deaf blind, individuals who have an access issue and cannot use traditional phone equipment. And we've changed the wording from telephone to phone to encompass wireless devices as well. So accessing that at captioning, accessing voiceover, talkback, relay service, all of those little systems that are so necessary for so many individuals. I also happen to be a unit leader in American Heritage Girls, and I'm a past president of the VFW Auxiliary. So I've worked with a lot of veterans over time. And as I said, I've got 2 children and a husband we are who we are. So, next slide, please. So as Linda mentioned, she wanted me to talk a little bit about some things that are happening and what's going on with equipment. So if we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide, I want to do some updates first. Okay. So in the last year, the sonic alert signaling system has changed just a little bit. Sorry. They've added some new pieces to it. In the past, individuals had to buy a separate fire transmitter that they would put up by their smoke alarm, and that would transmit to the device. That has since changed in the HomeAware, and now that piece is built in, as long as there is a working smoke detector in the home. So that is something that I wanted people to be aware of. And there's also now a built-in smartphone transmitter. The older version had a special little round egg that is about yay big that plugged into the back of the HomeAware. That's no longer needed. The newer technology has that built in, so you don't have to have that additional egg. And that is huge. It did change the cost of the device itself, but it is now built in, so less pieces and less difficulty with things getting unpaired, which is something that happens sometimes when you're adding additional pieces. Now, we can provide a sonic alert HomeAware system to individuals who need it to answer or to know that their smartphone is ringing, their house telephone is ringing, TTY, video phone. Those sort of devices are things that individuals need to communicate. If you can't hear it ring, Missouri Assistive Technology can assist individuals if individuals meet the eligibility criteria. And in Missouri, that is, you have to be a Missouri resident. You have to have telephone service, again, because that's what you're connecting the device to. You have to have a certified disability. And there's a number of ways of getting that certification. You do not necessarily have to go to the doctor. It could be that our Centers for Independent Living or one of our other local centers can assist you with that. And income based. So for a family of two, we use adjusted gross income of 60,000. That is 60. If it's a family of three, it is 65. 4 is 70, and it continues in $5,000 increments. So in Missouri, adjusted gross. Now, one of the things is if an individual qualifies under the I Can Connect program, that's the deaf-blind program, then what comes in the kit that is provided is a little bit different than if somebody is self-purchasing or whether it's coming through one of the tap telephone or tap wireless program. So I do have listed on the slide some of the differences, and that is based on our funding purposes and what our legal options are. And when I say legal options, TAP has very specific parameters set in place by legislation. So those are not things I get to adjust for. Same with I Can Connect. The feds have a specific saying what's allowed and not allowed. All right. If you'll switch to the next slide, please. Inline amplifiers. Sometimes the equipment we have at home, if it is a house phone, the phone is great. We just need an old-fashioned inline amplifier to make it fit our needs. Am I able to still have that same phone call and the simplicity I have at home, or do I need something more technical? And that varies person to person. And that's another great opportunity for Missouri Assistive Technology to assist people. We have demonstration sites all over Missouri. I actually have 36 offices that I coordinate with to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work before money is spent, whether it's your money or my money or some other agency's money. We let you try the equipment. So has anybody ever tried an inline amplifier like this? You can just raise your hand. Okay, I don't see, oh, maybe. Looks like maybe there's somebody in there. Okay, couple people. So what you used to see, these type of inline amplifiers were in the office. A lot of folks did it in the office, simple accommodation on the job. Some of them are built specifically to be used in the office. The one in the lower right-hand side that has the little twisty dial and is white and black, that one's built specifically for business phones. The other two can use on other types of lines. And so these simple accommodations allow you to plug it into a corded telephone with a handset, not a cordless, And once it's in, you adjust the tone and the volume as you need to. Once you find that sweet spot, you're good to go. You turn the boost on if you need it or turn it off. Certain individuals you may hear fine. Other ones, this is where you're going to need it. This is something we also offer in TAP, or if you are going back to work or have friends in the workforce and they're needing something like this, their employer can borrow this from our office and try it. Simple accommodation, under $75. Next slide, please. Inline amplifier. Now this one is really unique. This is a new product. It was designed by a company just north of Kansas City. And this will work on a computer. It'll work on a smartphone. It'll work on a traditional cell phone. It'll work on a house phone. Anything, if you really wanted to, you could put it on a stereo, as long as there is a plug-in with a 3.5 millimeter jack. This allows individuals a simple accommodation to be able to listen to a variety of options. Okay. And again, things like today's Zoom call, if you're struggling and you want to hear the conversation, this could be your access. There are 3 different headphone styles that individuals can pick. Personally, option 1 is the most popular because it allows individuals who are talking on a phone or on a computer, like a video conference, an opportunity to voice out and still hear. The other 2 options tend to be individuals who are using just for listening purposes. Next slide, please. How many people here use a smartphone or a cell phone? Okay. So if you are having to listen to a call, are your hearing aids programmed to your phone, or are you needing some kind of amplification system? If your hearing aids are streaming through your smartphone, raise your hand. Okay. If you do not have, okay, it looked like everybody raised their hands. If you were in a situation that maybe your hearing aid was broken or the battery runs out, the Bluetooth amplifier may be a backup option. And so you're going to Bluetooth that to your cell phone. Once it's connected and paired, you can answer it and hang it up using the little hang up button. Now, I will tell you, if it is accidentally paired to something else, which happens in my office quite a bit because we do demonstrations, it doesn't work quite right because it's trying to go to the other person's device instead of mine. So make sure if you have 2 people in the home that you label it, that is yours and the other one is theirs. Otherwise, it can create some funny little issues. And I see in the chat, there's a couple of questions. For those who say they cannot hear with hearing aids, please go back to your hearing professional and ask for programming help. I 100% agree with that. And then someone asked cost of teletext. I am not 100% sure, Diane, how much that is. I would also talk to, you're out of Wisconsin, correct? Okay. I would talk with the PSC in your state and see if they offer that. Billy Malden up there has been working on that program. And so he may be a great resource to their TEP program, TEPP, I believe is what it is, and be able to tell you if that's something they offer. Okay. So we again have 2 different types of Bluetooth amplifiers. Some people like one better versus the other, whether it's because of how they hear with it or whether it's a comfort in how it feels in their hand. So again, the ability to work with that. Now your hearing aids need to have T-coil. However, these handsets can also be made where you can hold it and it will be a speakerphone instead. And for some individuals, having that 2 sound option versus mono option to your ear or speaker, it can be in front of you, is a big difference in the communication. Okay. Next slide, please. Square glow. Have any of you heard of square glow? It's a signaling system. Okay. It is approximately 4 inches by 4 inches. It is something that connects to the home phone or video phone. It has a limited range. Now, I want to be careful how I talk about this because it gets kind of confusing. For individuals who are wanting to use it with a smartphone, it doesn't work the way most signalers do. So in this instance, it is just a receiver. Okay? If your smartphone was ringing and you were connected to this, it's just going to let you know your smartphone is ringing. Okay? It's not going to transmit anything else. Most of our stuff will transmit to let you know, oh, that is the house phone, that is the smartphone, that is the doorbell. This is not made like that. It's kind of weird. It just receives the information. It's really cool, though, that it will flash different colors depending on what it's receiving and programmed to. So for individuals who choose to purchase doorbell, you can set that color up to be purple. Whereas you may want your smoke detector to be red and you want your house, or excuse me, yeah, your house phone to be yellow. So there are options that you can pick to choose how you want to set that up. Next slide, please. Okay. Google Pixel. So last year, Google updated the way they do a tablet. This happens to be the backside of the tablet. It shows the tablet is on a stand. For individuals who may be making calls where they're using captioning, or who may be using video relay service, this is a really good option available for individuals. Not trying to not trying to put away from Apple. Apple is great too, but we're talking about newer technologies, and Apple has been around for a long time, but the Google Pixel tablet has not. So again, this stand that is with the Google Pixel tablet is also your charging stand. So you've got the stand, you've got the charger all in one, and then you have a way for it to be sitting to pick up your captions, or again, your you can do your emails, all those advanced distance communications, have your video conferences via Zoom or your doctor's appointments. With a lot of the new audiology, it's a way of getting your hearing aids programmed over the internet now, or even cochlear implants are starting to go that way, where your audiologist is in the office and you're at home, and tick, tick, and your devices change. Next slide, please. Live transcribe. Has everybody heard of the Google Live options that are out there these days? See a few head shakes, hands up, some no's. Okay. So about 3 years ago, Google started out with the ability, was kind of as a result of the pandemic, figuring out ways to make captioning through automated speech recognition, easier for individuals to access. Again, there is a time and a place for ASR, and there's a time and a place for captioning. In a meeting like this, I would prefer having a live captionist. It's more accurate. If I was having a simple business transaction, I might be okay with automated speech recognition, but it's also a personal preference. And sometimes there's financial barriers as well. So while Google introduced that for certain devices, we didn't have a way to do that on a house phone. So people were having to still rely on internet and Wi-Fi. Well, along comes live transcript options to use on a house phone with or without internet access. And this is important because Caption Call, who has been the leader for many years in having the CapTel, has changed the way they're able to do business because of the phone line system. Nothing CapTel has done. It just happens to be the phone line system changed, and then their devices were not working as well. So companies figured out a way to create a non-internet version and an internet version. On the left side, we've got a house phone with traditional cord with a tablet. And below that, we have a cordless phone with a tablet. To the right, we have the internet version, which looks very similar to what you see on the left. But if you look under that tablet, you see a little white box. Diane's a little not seeing it, I don't think. Correct. See where the pointer is, Diane? Are you seeing the screen? No. Andy, are you seeing 3 phones on the screen?
No, I'm not, but that's, I don't see your screen, your PowerPoint at this point.
Oh, goodness. Have you seen any of it at all?
Kathy, is there something you can work out?
Stop counting.
It's okay. It's okay. I need to get off anyway, so.
Well, I
Well,
was
Diane-
going to say that Kathy can send the PowerPoint later after the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
Sorry.
and that's what I was, no, that's what I was going to suggest as well. Thank you. Okay. All right, so yes, Kathy did show where the little white box is. So that will plug into the Ethernet port that is on the router and helps keep a more stable connection for internet users. It also keeps other items that might be in the home from hijacking the phone, so to speak, so that if you're on a call, that captioning stays continuous versus if you're competing with other Bluetooth type equipment. So let's move to the next slide. And I know the print on this is really hard to see, but the non-internet version is with the cordless phone is called the XLC8 GLT Deluxe. The Deluxe is how I know that it's for a person who needs captioning, who does not have internet in their home. And so what it does is once it's connected between the phone and the tablet, it's going to pick up that conversation and the person will read it. The tablet can be adjusted for font. And the speakers both have to speak the same language, just so you know. So if you're trying to use one person in Spanish and one person in English, it's not going to do one of those languages. So it can be 2 Spanish speakers, it can be 2 English speakers, it can be 2 French speakers. but they have to be the same language. And actually, yeah. Okay. Next slide. There's also the ported phone option. And by the way, the two phones that I show you on the deluxe versions, those are amplified phones too. So individuals get the best of both worlds. An amplified phone with the ability to see text. But there's no human involvement in the captions. So it is all automated speech recognition. You'll see on the cord of the Alto Plus, there's a little black box to the left. That is the piece that is necessary in order for the corded phone to work, in order for the captions to appear on the screen. So without that piece, you do not get the same benefit. That piece makes a world of difference. And it also locks the device to the caption so other devices can't take over. Next slide. Going back to that GLT, the difference is this is the internet version. Again, see that little white box under the tablet? That little white box is what, again, is keeping the phone captions going through the internet and keeping it where no other object's going to interfere with its ability. It'll be locked for captions. By the way, the devices, you can't just get out and go play with it. The devices are locked only to show captions on it. So people can't just go out and try to put on games and play the tablet for fun. It's not going to have games or email access. And there's been some questions. This phone is not portable outside the home. So yeah, you can, as far as your internet goes, is as far as you're going to be able to get the captions. You know, you can't walk over to the neighbor's house and still have captions and still talk on your phone. It's just not going to work. So you have to be within proximity of that internet signal. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Accommodations and modifications. Next one. So this is an ear acoustics. Now, it is the simplest technology out there. Maybe you're at a meeting, maybe you're at church, maybe you're at a town council meeting, whatever the case is. Instead of having to do this all meeting, where you put your hands behind your ears, this acts in the same capacity. Low tech, inexpensive. You put the couplers on, the ear cups either behind your ears if you want to hear what's in front of you, or you can even do it backwards if you want to hear behind you. And it gives you like that ear extension. We have went back to the manufacturer and asked them to make a bit of a smaller size because not one size fits all. This device costs about $20. Comes in different colors. Freeze your hands. Again, simple, low-tech technology that individuals can purchase. And we do have a pair in the office. Actually, I think it's on loan right now. And we're also going to be putting it up in our library display out on this side of the state. Next slide, please. Looks like a lot of mishmash on here. I have two types of systems on here. It's the same system. It's called the Listen Talk FM system. In the past, did anybody ever use something called the Comfort Contigo when they went to a conference? I've got a couple folks shaking their head. Okay. Well, Comfort Contigo is no longer manufactured. So there's things like the Domino out there, which is kind of new. And no sooner did we purchase some, and the manufacturer discontinued half of their product line. So the Listen Talk system was actually made for courthouses to be able to use with interpreters, the defendant and the plaintiff, and anybody else in the courtroom. But it was found for an additional use in the classroom. But not everybody needs it there either. So they've made a set that is great for individuals. It is incredible. We tried it in the office. I spoke in a whisper with somebody who wore a cochlear implant. Nobody could hear me within like 1.5 feet, 2 feet, talking so low, and they could still hear what I said on their receiver. So it has incredible sound amplification. That's great for individuals who may need that in a conference setting, or if you're in any kind of meeting, or maybe you are in a restaurant and you want to have a conversation with a friend. Put the headset on, give your friend or your doctor or the speaker the transmitter. They have their conversation. You may be able to benefit. Works with or without hearing aids. It could also be used in situations where somebody has a very low voice, maybe due to trauma, or they're just a very soft-spoken person. This can also help the end user be able to hear that person a little bit better. We have some individuals that we know have gone to conferences because of injury. They are not able to speak very loud. This has really helped their other person hear what they're saying without the voice strain of the individual and the ability to hear clearly what's being discussed. These are not cheap. They are around $900 for the basic set. But if you're doing a courtroom set, it goes well over $3,600. But again, it's amazing. If you have a chance to ever try one out, I recommend checking it out. Next slide, please. Amplified stethoscopes. So there are a variety of options out there. Has anybody seen a doctor use any of this type of technology, or a nurse? Laura? Linda? Okay. I don't think I have, yeah. So I had to take my daughter to Children's Mercy one time and found out, I was trying to figure out why the nurse was being so loud. And then the doctor came in and she was trying to speak loud for the doctor. And when I figured out what was going on, I started signing with the doctor and she's like, thank you. She hadn't had anybody to practice with in a long time, so her skills were a bit rusty. But in the same instance, while I was working with her, she was working with me and showing me her technology too. So in our office, we now have available for loan the eScope. That's the one in the lower right corner. That's the one that VR typically purchases for individuals. We have that because it has the least pieces that can be lost, to try out to see if it's going to benefit someone who may be working in healthcare. We mention that because if maybe you are a home health provider for a loved one, a caregiver, these are options you may want to consider too. So the one, like I said, in the lower right is an eScope, but they've made some that will, with pieces, you can connect them to your smartphone. And as you see in the picture on the left, you can see the heartbeat on your phone while you're also getting some of the amplification to your ear. So you've got a visual and a sensory capability to hear what's going on. And then the one at the top is just a Bluetooth style, or excuse me, it's a visual, yeah, it's a Bluetooth style. Sorry about that. So these are things that are coming out. They're trying to be more friendly in the medical community because, again, there's a lot of options for people who are losing their hearing as they get older, or who are entering where we've never had the opportunity to have communication that was as effective as it is more now. Next slide, please. And I like this. This was a simple on-the-job accommodation where an individual has a receiver on their lamp that's Bluetooth, or excuse me, a receiver on their lamp. In their office, they have a remote control. When they are on a video call and they do not want to be disturbed, they close their door. So if somebody's knocking, they can't hear it. But if the people know the light is on, they are not to disturb that person. Simple accommodation costs less than $50, depending on if you're in the workplace or maybe if you're on a Zoom call like tonight, and maybe you have children in the house. If you had something like that, you could turn it on and be like, do not disturb. Maybe your grandchildren are visiting, do not disturb. Simple accommodation. And then if you want to move to the last slide. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot there's a few more. Apps. So apps are not all the same. Many of you have probably tried different apps for different things. If you look at a video relay app, provider to provider, not all interpreters are the same. Same with the captioning apps. Those ASR apps are not all the same. How they go to the cloud and come back down, or how well they pick up accents. There's a whole lot of how good your connection is for the day could just make a difference in how you're communicating. So in the next several slides, it is not a full list, but is a variety of options out there. So other than Zoom, what I like to do when I want to have a video chat, and until recently, FaceTime was not an option between family members and myself because I use Apple and my family uses Android. But the platform balance was Duo. Duo was changed to Google Meet. So that opened the ability for individuals to see each other and have one-on-one conference video chats. Some of those have now allowed the standard of being able to add multiple individuals and do conferencing. FaceTime, I can still talk to people on FaceTime who are on Android, but they have to accept my link to be able to chat like that. Skype. Skype actually started out with computer many, many years ago. I think I've had a Skype account 15 years or so. On a computer, I could also type my conversation. So when my brother was stationed overseas and my parents lived in Texas, my dad couldn't connect all the ways, my brother couldn't connect all the ways, I could connect all the ways. So we would have our conversation through Skype, and while one was talking one way, I was able to communicate with the other way, and we were able to have our conversation. So it's got visual component and auditory component with the ability to text component. WhatsApp is the new thing that a lot of folks are jumping on. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. Viber is another one. Linda, you use Viber? Linda, you're on mute.
I've heard of it, just never used it.
Okay. Glide is actually really popular in the deaf community. I haven't heard about it so much in the hard of hearing community, but it is popular in the deaf community. Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger has also opened up some new avenues. I'm not super familiar with it. I usually just text and send pictures privately to someone if I want to communicate. I listed that. House Party is one that people with vision loss tend to use a lot of. And then we are familiar with Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and again, Google Meet. are all options for video conferencing. Next slide. But not everybody wants to do visual. Maybe they want text-based. So for face-to-face and social apps, Nagish, yeah, had to think how you say it. That is actually a really interesting one that works in multiple languages around the world, designed for people who are deaf or hard of hearing to be able to just chat and text if they need to. Maybe the connection is so bad for video conferencing or whatever, but you still need to chat. You can do that through Nagish. Ava Transcribe is more of your group settings. The concern about Ava is that everybody has to have the app, and there is a cost to it. InnoCaptions is used again for face-to-face. I believe that some of these, and so I'm not going to tell you all of them, but some of these will have a limited plan for free, like you get 5 hours a month, or you can do so much text line or whatever. Some of these are going to be like that. It depends on how much you're going to use it before you have to pay for a service. Live Transcribe Plus, something you can find again on smartphones. Snapchat, that's just a social media type of service. Discord is something a lot of gamers use to chat. You can do that all in text. It is accessible for people with vision loss. So for those folks who want to use that and need to be able to use talkback or voiceover, it is accessible. Telegram is something used again in the vision loss community. Slack, I'm not super familiar with, but it is also a social media. And Band is something a lot of group organizations will do to keep people informed of maybe what's going on at camp or some other large group. It's just another option for people to stay connected, share pictures, but also keep that private, so just can't be hacked as easily to get in and see what's going on. And then for conference captioning, there's Auto Transcribe, and that can be beneficial with a paid plan. And sometimes you can get a short amount of time for free per month. But what if you don't want to just do caption social media and stuff? What about phone calling apps? Caption Mate, Caption Call, Hamilton Captel, and then T-Mobile's IP Relay, offered with both voice carryover, hearing carryover for speech disabled, and then text in or text out. Now, while those apps will carry captioning, if you can't get on the internet, because maybe you're out in the middle of nowhere, if you look towards the bottom at services and you are a smartphone user, real-time text still allows you to connect to Relay to make a call for like a tow truck. The only caveat is you have to have voice minutes. So in the past, where some of those mobile cellular companies offered special plans for what they call the death plan, they took out the voice minutes and they gave more data. With RTT, you do not want your voice minutes gone. You want that because, again, if you can't get internet signal, you're not going to be able to make a call. Real-time text is using your voice minutes. And you can still get Relay, or you can contact somebody else, you know, hey, my car has a flat. Can you come out to Independence Center and get me? And they'll get that. And it's immediate feedback. Relay, you had to sometimes wait till the conversation sentence was done. This is instant bubbles, if that makes sense. Instantaneous. Okay. Back up the line, we've got video relay services. Most people are familiar with Sorensen's InTouch. Convo, Z5 or P3, and Z and P3 kind of merge, so it's ZP2, the number 2 together, but they still have separate apps for different reasons. I talked about RTT. There's relay conference captioning. So if you are having a phone conference, as long as you schedule within 24 hours before the meeting, you can be provided a link and you have your phone line open. You can receive captions at no cost because that's paid for through the relay program funds. It does require that individuals be going through internet in order to pick up the captions. And I don't know if you guys have talked with Katie McPhee, MCFEE, and Katie CADY. She would be happy to talk to you more about how to use relay conference captioning, as well as anything offered by T-Mobile in the way of relay. So something to keep in mind there. Next slide. So this next part is really hard to find information on. This product is in its infancy. So let's go to the next page. And it's AuraCast. And I just found out about this about 2.5 weeks ago. So it is Bluetooth technology. And in case any of you are history buffs, Bluetooth technology is built on innovation by Hedy Lamarr, the actress, from way back in World War II, when she was helping the submarines in the US during World War II. Her innovations have brought about how we use Bluetooth today. Silly history, but fun to know. So it is going to be the next wave of what goes into hearing aids, more than likely. So we're waiting to see more about it. I know that I don't have a very good description because I'm still learning about it. Pardon me. But I did include a link. I'm sorry. I did include a link, and I do encourage individuals to check it out, see how it's going to be beneficial going forward. And I'm sure, like you guys, I will also be learning about it as it comes out of that infancy state and really starts taking hold of how hearing aids and cochlear implants are made in the future. Because remember, way back when, we had switches on our hearing aids to know if you were able to use the telephone. Then we went to buttons, and you pushed a button for a specific program. Now we're going into where we can Bluetooth our hearing aid to the phone, and it keeps continuing. So be watching for this technology as it comes about. All right, and the last slide. Again, we're Missouri Assistive Technology. You can follow us on Twitter, or formerly Twitter X now, or Facebook. And we hope you guys will take an opportunity. We have a lot of different things come up. And if you ever get a chance to come to our Power Up conference, we just had that this last April. We have discussions about everything related to assistive technology or policies or funding, pardon me, or just a whole host of things. And it's also a great way to network and visit with the vendors who are manufacturing. They love to hear what's being missed so they can figure out how to best serve people with disabilities, people without disabilities, just people, family, whomever. They need feedback. So I would like to open it up for questions if there's any.
Please use your raise hand or write the question in the chat room.
the question, while you guys are thinking about all the things there, was any of that new information? If it was, raise a hand. Got one person who says it's new. You guys were all familiar with this? No. Okay.
No, there's some new information. I just need to process some of it. That's why getting the PowerPoint would be good.
Yeah.
And some of it I was familiar. We actually had someone talk about AutoCast. Help me, Kathy. It was the month I missed. We had someone that Christine Kramer, who's our professional advisor, knew about, and she arranged it. So we had I didn't hear it, but other people did. So I think we're going to hear more about it at the national convention that's going to be in Phoenix.
Well, if you hear anything about it, I would love to know more about it, because this is, I mean, it's really new. And so I want to learn, just like, if and it just makes me better at what I do if I know what's happening and what types of things might be coming down the road that might be impacted, not only positively, but negatively.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody got questions? Seems like everyone enjoyed your presentation. I think, like me, we need to kind of process it. And if you gave your last slide, gave the information about how we can get in touch with you. So if you have it, if you think about it later or tomorrow or whatever, just email Stacy and she will be able to help you out.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And what
So-
I'll do, I will send everybody who signed up for the meeting the PowerPoint. The recording takes a couple of days to do because we posted out on YouTube, our chapter YouTube. And so what I do is I tend to send out the link. So but I could send out the at least the PowerPoint tonight and to all those who signed up, and then give me the recording will be in a couple of days. I'll just send you that link at that time. Okay.
And I do want to mention, if you have someone that is on the deaf blind and may use Braille to communicate or to see what's going on, these slides where there are pictures, it does have alt text behind it so it'll explain what is in the picture so that they also have the opportunity to go through the slides and be aware of a description of what the product is. Delbert wrote about the Roger pen appears to work similar to the courtroom FM system. There are advantages and disadvantages to both of those.
I thought that square was interesting where it would change colors depending upon which device is ringing, your doorbell, your phone, the fire alarm, this type of thing.
Yes. Yeah. As long as you remember what the colors mean. Or if you don't have color blindness.
Yeah, that's true. True. Okay. Well, I just have one quick question because Missouri is known to have some really bad thunderstorms and tornadoes. Any recommendation of equipment for alerting you that you need to go to the basement or safe room?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Linda, and you're absolutely right, because Missouri has had a number of tornadoes this season. I know we spent the night in the basement 2 weeks ago because the storm's going through. So I personally prefer Nixel. I know that doesn't work for everyone. Nixel. Wait a minute. Hold on. It's Everbridge Nixel. Let me make sure I spell that right. And I have that pinpointed to the safety departments in my area. So where I live, I have Independence, Central Jackson County, because I work in Blue Springs, and Lee Summit and Kansas City and Liberty all on my system. So I get notifications when tornadoes are going through there. Well, not just tornadoes, fire, thunderstorm warnings, severe fog warnings, other impactful entities that I don't get to control. I get warning systems from them. They email them to me, and it comes across on my smartphone as a text and will screech really loud. So I get that type of warning system. And for the life of me, I cannot find my, Everbridge is what it's now gone to, but it's Nixle as well. NIX. It's either LE or EL, I'm sorry. So that is one type of warning system, being registered with your city or county. You can do that. They will also send out warnings, again, if you have email. If you're wanting a physical device, Midland Radio Corporation sells the traditional weather radios. And while those can be loud and they have little lights, they have created a vibration and signaling kit that you can add to the weather radio. And the point is that this little square piece, it's about maybe yay big, goes under your pillow. Or what we also recommended is that some people, if you have a wooden headboard, you can drape a string over the edge of it. It'll hit the wood and create a sound and vibration that may help in waking up, so that individuals are more alerted or see the little flasher. It used to be red. I believe it's now a small white strobe. And the goal is, and the FCC has also said this, is that it alerts you to know to go to a television to get more information. And that's the FCC requirement on that. Information, warning to get to something that has more information. But I like Nixle because I get text information immediate. Linda, you're on mute.
NHTSA is I contact you because I think I'd be interested to know more about that.
Give me 1 second. Okay. I don't know if you can see, it's a little blue check mark box here. It says Everbridge.
Everbridge, okay.
And when I click in that, now it's going to pop up really fast. I have gone into my settings and I have enroll, feed, and local. So if I was traveling, it would tell me where I'm at, but anyway, it would let me know if I have any alerts that I need to be aware of. Again, I get a text. It would take me too long to find one that it's popped up recently. But yeah, it'll tell me tornado has been located near you, take cover immediately. And it gives me a little more information than that, but it's enough for me to wake up, and it makes my phone ring and light up. But I sleep with my phone over my head, so in a bag. Linda, you're on mute.
Anybody else that have questions for Stacy? And if you can't think of any, you can always email her. I'm trying to be cautious of Kim's time, and who's our captioner. So thank you very much for coming, Stacy, on Zoom. And again, hope you enjoyed this meeting, and thank you for coming. And June is our June picnic, and come, even if you're out of St. Louis, come for a day in St. Louis and drop in our picnic. Take care and have a good summer.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Nice to meet
Thanks
everybody.
for coming.